So as we keep putting on our investor hats, we want to keep exploring, are there any other models or strategies that we can use to expand our portfolio and control all aspects of the strategy? So we have now previously looked at Martin in that he took an existing house, converted 4 rooms into separate entrance units, as well as converted the remaining rooms into a 3-bedroom house for a long-term tenant. Well, he went and found another property that he converted 4 rooms again into 4 separate entrance units, and then the remainder of the house he uses as his office and as his corporate function, because he obviously has a business which is requiring office space, and now he's using that as well. So he has now brought in a different element into this process, and on top of that he has a granny flat over and above that, which is looking at a long-term tenant. So in this case, he's actually going to be generating way more than all the costs and more into this process. And what's really great about it is I've got video for you of this just as he was starting the alterations, and of course I've got the post videos of it to show you what it's like. And again, Martin asked me to come around to see the units. I gave him my suggestions. I told him how he must adapt it, what he would use to get more income out of it, and he implemented that right away. He's got borehole water to obviously supplement a lot of the water that's going on. Really create a strategy in thinking about all these things. And one of the other things that is so important in this is that, for me, wanting to make sure that we mitigate as much risk as possible is really important. I want to make sure that I've got plan B, C, D, E, F, and all the different strategies that come out of that. So even though in this case, if you take a look at what Martin has done in his conversion of his property, there is still the easy possibility that if he is going to step out of this, that if he wants to sell the property at a later stage, it'll be easy for him to do that. So whereas he might have had a 4-bedroom house where he had only, let's say, 1 ensuite and 3 of the rooms were sharing, what he's gone and done is he's actually now gone and added that each room has its ensuite and its own separate entrance from outside, right? Because that's what we want in an Airbnb. It is so important to create separate entrances, to have their ensuite, because this increases the value significantly. The difference between a 1-room in a house and a separate entrance is a lot. Even though the prices may be very similar on Airbnb, the way you're going to get chosen is going to be significant. In other words, if you were going to pay 400 Rand for a room in a house with other people, or you're going to pay 500 Rand for a separate entrance with your own bathroom, people are going to choose 500 Rand because it has so much more uniqueness and individuality and privacy, right? Which is hugely important. So if you can already convert into that space, it's going to make a massive difference to your Airbnb incomes and Airbnb earnings. At the same time, if he is to sell that house, to have 4 rooms, all with their own entrances outside, and with their own bathrooms, is going to be significant. And him basically reopening it up so that the rooms are all interleading again to the main house is not going to be a problem, because it was already designed that way in the first place, right? But it means that he's going to have just so much more marketability of his house in plan B or plan C, or eventually when he wants to exit. So huge advantages of really thinking about this carefully. And this is what I really shared with Martin, is that he must look at, to focus on, and not just think the short term, but actually say, what happens if this, what happens if that, and to make sure that whatever money you put in, you're going to access, right, and make out. So one of the things that I often share with all of my students is that if you're going to be putting money into a property, it must be directly related to increasing the income that you can get out of it. So we should never be putting money in that doesn't produce more income or increase the value of the house, right? Those are 2 really important things in investing. Is, I'm going to say them again, that we shouldn't be putting money into a property unless it relates directly to increasing the income that we're going to get from the property, or it's going to directly impact the value of the property, which means that when we sell it, we're going to get that money back. Otherwise, it's money lost. And in this case, especially with us converting and doing Airbnb models, we want to make sure that when we're putting money in, it's going to either increase more income because now we can charge more on Airbnb, or we're going to get more Airbnb units out. And at the same time, if our Airbnb doesn't work or we want to sell later, the money that we put into those conversions we can take out again, because it will be a perceived value of the house, or will have been added value to the house, such as bathrooms, separate entrances, and a whole lot of different things. So let's take a look at Martin's place. So here we are in Pretoria with Martin, and we're taking a look at one of the properties that he's going to house hack. Fantastic opportunity. This is going to be a 3 parking space with different parking areas here with the garage doors. So let's take a look at how else he's going to restructure this, right? They'll all be coming through here. And Martin, tell us how this goes, right?
Yeah, okay. So
they're going to come in this way.
Common entrance here.
So this is already an existing house which has how many bedrooms?
For 4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms, including this up top here?
Yeah,
Well, this is the extra.
Yeah, it's the
Or is this the
extra.
5th?
Yeah, 5th.
Okay, so he's got it where he's going to have use it on Airbnb and short-term rentals as well. So one possibility is up there. Do you know how much that's going to go for on a night?
About 650.
Okay, so 650 around that, and then obviously let's see how he's going to structure and hack the inside of the house.
So this area is going to become a courtyard area, just a nice, like maybe a waterfall or a couple of benches just for them to chill out.
Yep, so nice chilled. Here we go, one entrance. Okay. So this was obviously one room and
Walk-in closet.
yeah, so he's actually going to close this and have that just for his kids who come around. So that's another way of him being able to manage that. But this is going to be one unit that has its own entrance that way, right? This room will use this bathroom, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Correct. And
This bathroom is also going to be shared then
yeah,
with
this room. But this room is going to have its own entrance
sure.
through there, right? So a nice big room. You can see a big room like this, going to have an entrance around that side. And then what's great about this is there will be a wall here separating the rest of the house, which we'll go look at. And here's another room which will also have its own entrance there. So that means that, Martin, you're going to have 3 rooms with their own entrances, plus a flatlet upstairs which have its own entrance, and then you can have the whole house, right, the rest of the house. So if we quickly take a look at that, this is going to be
like an entertainment area.
yeah, so the house here, another big space, okay, master bedroom, okay. So really, I mean, this is huge. You have walk-in closets. This is awesome. I had never seen this one before, actually. And then the rest of the house is still there, which that would be the entrance. More courtyard space. Hello. And then, yeah, good, thank you. We're just doing a quick video. And then, of course, this is still part of the main house. Lots of nooks and crannies. And your office was upstairs, right?
No, it was always here.
Oh, okay. Kitchen, lounge. So, considering that you've got 1, 2, 3, so 4 separate units plus a main house.
Yeah. And this area, I'm gonna kind of utilize it for a day-to-day office.
Yeah.
space.
And then here is an office space. So he's house hacking it, even for office, so you can offset all the office expenses, or of course have it that way, right? So I mean, this is an amazing opportunity to really capitalize on a property. Fantastic.